Welcome to another live forum here on the SERENITY Resource Connector. And we are connecting with the Parish Development Committee over there in St. Elizabeth. We're going to be talking about their mission to rebrand the Breadbasket Parish. As most, if not all of us know of St. Elizabeth as the Breadbasket Parish. And we have with us the president of the Parish Development Committee. We were supposed to have a couple of them on last month. However, I shared in terms of what it is that the Parish Development Committee is supposed to be doing. And so we're going to be bringing in Alvin Hill, president for the St. Elizabeth Parish Development Committee, to talk to us and tell us how the PDC over there in St. Elizabeth is operating. And just to remind you, or for those who are joining us for the first time, I'm Winsome Sharia Whittle, the host and executive producer for this program. And we go live each Thursday at 8 p.m. looking at different aspects of development in our communities. But for this one, we're focusing on the PDC. Welcome, Sir Hill. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. And I'm going to invite those who are joining us live to go ahead and share in the comment where you're joining us from. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Set your notification and share so others can know the awesome things that's happening in our different parishes, different communities, even those in the diaspora. All right, Sir Hill. So how is it that the PDC is operating over there in St. Elizabeth? I had shared last month that the PDC was actually set up to be the voice for the citizens in the parish at the municipal corporation, and some people still call it the parish council.
Yes.
So tell us how it is that your team is operating over there in St. Elizabeth.
Yes. As you mentioned, yes, we are the voice of the people at the municipal corporation level. As I had mentioned prior to us coming on, that we are a creature of the Constitution, and therefore the Parish Development Committee is recognized as such. We are an organization of stakeholders, meaning that we have all the various groups, organizations within the parish being a part. Not that we have all the groups 100%, but we have quite a number of groups that are a part of, are affiliated to us in some regards. Nonetheless, there are what we call the CDC, the Community Development Committees, that is on the local level. And those community development committees come together to form what we call the DACs, the Development Area Committees. And those CDC would report their concerns and situations to the DACs. And then the DAC would report, give us a report on a monthly basis as to what the CDCs are reporting to them. And then those matters that we consider hot button matters are taken to the municipal corporation, where it is ventilated and actioned by the corporation.
All right. So we have another segment where we engage with the municipal corporation in Clarendon. We had extensive discussion in 2022 when we started looking at the two arms of the municipal corporation, the different services that they offer through the various departments, and the CEO would have shared that there are several committees that are there. How does the St. Elizabeth PDC participate on those committees?
Well, the PDC is fortunate to be a part of, a part of the municipal corporation structure, because as I mentioned earlier, the PDC goes to the council meeting on a monthly basis, and is given an opportunity to do a presentation at the council meeting, and questions are asked and answers are given. and whatever needs to be followed through on is done. Outside of that, though, we do participate in the committee on the committee basis, meaning that the local public accounts committee of the municipal corporation is chaired by a non-council member, and that is a member of the parish development committee. And we have at least 5 members from the PDC that sits on that particular committee. Outside of that, the PDC sits on the disaster committee, the evaluation committee, um, um, homeless committee, to mention a few. But we don't sit on every single one of them. But if there are issues that we need to have ventilated at any of the other committees, we can always write to the CEO and ask for audience. And I'm confident that we will get the opportunity to make representation um, at those committees to get the matter addressed.
All right. So it sounds like you have a good partnership going on there with your municipal corporation.
Very much, I believe.
Yes. Do you have an active interagency network in St. Elizabeth?
There is an active interagency network. However, we have been advised by Social Development Commission (SDC) that going forward, the the PDC will be the organization that chairs that committee. And I think that that is a very forward step because it would give the PDC some more leverage and even some latitude in terms of how we can link with those organizations. And by linking with those organizations, whenever our citizens from the grassroots level have any concerns, any issues that they would want to have addressed, we will be able to address those issues. Because there are some things that are not, I consider them not so sexy, that some persons would not take on because they are not highlighted in the media or something to that effect. But it is a concern for the citizens, and therefore we see it as a part of our mandate to ensure that whatever it is, we can make representation on behalf of the people. Um, we take it as an opportunity to do so.
Indeed. That sounds amazing. And it's a good time to bring in our live audience. Jacqueline Brown is wishing you a good night, Sir Hill. Welcome, Jacqueline Brown. Thanks for joining us.
And Miss
And
Brown is a member of the New Market DAC. In fact, she is the chairperson for that group.
okay.
So as I mentioned, there are 6 DACs within the parish, and it's Newmarket, Black River, Santa Cruz, Junction, um, Magati. Am I leaving out any? I believe.
One more.
Yes.
All right. It will
Uh,
come back.
yes.
Welcome. Welcome. New Market. Is that where the first set of um, the light? St.
No,
Elizabeth
that
was the
is
first
Black River. That is Black River.
Black River.
Black
Okay.
River is where at Black River is the first.
First town to get
Yes,
light.
yes, yes.
Okay. All right. For those who are live with us, we are having a discussion and we're going to be moving into what a lot of you are waiting to hear about the mission to rebrand St. Elizabeth. And you can share with us where you're connecting with us from in the comments. If you have questions for Sir Hill, go ahead and ask your question and we will address them as we go throughout. We go for an hour, so you are early if you're already here. So go ahead and pose your question. For those who are going to be watching the replay, a warm welcome to you. All
Okay.
right, so let's get into the whole matter of rebranding. Will there be any difference as it relates to the bread basket, or will
Um,
Elizabeth remain the breadbasket parish?
it is always good. If you look at New York, when they say New York, you talk about the big apple.
Up.
And I go that way, and then you talk about St. Anne, you talk about the Garden Parish. Um, St. Elizabeth is not the only parish that does agriculture, but we are key and strategic parish when it comes down to the things that we produce. And as such, I think that it is easy for anybody to say that, yes, St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket. And we want to cement that and concretize that in the minds of the Jamaicans and as well as persons from overseas. And one of the ways that we intend to do that is by using signage, because we discover that signs are a part of attraction for any area. And therefore, our intention is to put at least 15 signs, I said, in and around the parish. We have actually erected one already, coming from Spur Tree Hill down into St. Elizabeth. That
That one?
says welcome. Yes, that's that same one. Welcome to St. Elizabeth, the Breadbasket Parish, and that was a very good launch. We At the launch we had gotten actually a pledge from Mr. Hensel, Jason Hensel from Jake's, um, of $1.5 million to contribute to the erection of the 15 additional signs that we will put in. As I said, all of them will not be at the entrances. Some will be in the interior parts of the parish, because we want to highlight both the agricultural produce that are farmed within the particular zone, like say a junction, where you know it is famous for melon and escallion. And you go to the northern side where people do pineapple up in Ginger Hill. You want to ensure that you mention the area and some of the crops that they produce, and also the number of farmers that are in that area. So whenever a visitor is coming through, whenever any Jamaicans are passing through, they can stop and take pictures, because we'll ensure that not all the signs are going to be above ground. Some of them will be very low so that you can take your pictures. We'll have a barcode so that you can actually link you to some of the attractions that are within, the parish.
Sounds
And
exciting. Don't rush through that part. We want to make sure that you don't miss that part. But before
yes.
we get there, who are some of these people who are so excited about this new sign in this picture here?
I don't want to get myself in any trouble,
Use
I
organizations.
I can see the gentleman who is in the mask it would be on my right, your left. Um, he is I'll come back to him in a short while. I think his name is Mr. Dixon. He's the
We say
person.
organization instead of the person's name.
Well, he represents the member of parliament.
Okay.
He is the person in charge of the constituency development fund. The next person to him is Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore is the treasurer for the parish development committee, and next to him is Mr. Jason Hensel. Mr. Hensel wears a lot of caps because he was once the president of the parish development committee. In fact, he was president for about 10 years. Um, and 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 he's also the owner of Jake's and Jack Spratt in Treasure Beach. And he is the person that pledged the $1.5 million towards the sign project. I must add that while I'm naming the person, I'll interject and to say that this project is going to cost us close to 7 million or even more, based on the fact that inflation and all of that. But the last estimate we did was running in that region to get the signs up and running. But we are 1.5 million already. So, and some of the works will be done in kind. We have some sponsors we are speaking to at this time. The person to him is Miss Shauna Brandon from ICA. ICA, the organization that actually pledged the first 150,000. That is how the actual project started. 150,000 was pledged from ICA. And we actually raised the other 300,000 to actually erect this particular sign. And next to Miss Brandon is a member of the New Market CDC. and I am trying. I very much know her name, but it has slipped my brain, and I'll come back to her in the middle. But next to her is Miss Jacqueline Samuels Brown in that red blouse with that jacket. That is Miss Jacqueline Samuels Brown, and next to her is Miss Purenda, and next to Miss Purenda is the President Alvin Hill, in that white shirt, and next to Mr. Hill is Mr. Alric Miller, who is the SDC parish manager for St. Elizabeth.
All right. So that's a wide demographic of stakeholders coming
Yes.
together, and I can see the excitement and the energy that's
Mhm.
coming together there, which is so important. All
Mhm.
right. This is a good place to pause and acknowledge. I take it that we have some St. Bess people here. Kevin Bless. Are you from St. Bess? And we have Totlin Watkins. Thank you so much for connecting with us live. And we would just want to encourage you to
And
continue to support any of these.
Very much know Miss Watkins. She is the clerk for the LPC committee, the
Okay.
auditor for she's the auditor for the municipal corporation.
All
You know.
right, fantastic.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome, welcome,
Yes.
welcome. And for those other entities who are not here, you want to invite them, send the link
Yes.
so they
Yes. We
can
did.
join us and share with us in the comments so we can bring you on and share your organization as well so we can. Yes, all right, Kevin from St. Bess. Amazing. Some really awesome stuff going on here. The design, though, there's something unique about the design. Tell us a little bit more about the design of the sign that was captured in the picture there.
Yes. The design is, if you notice, it's the entire Saint Elizabeth
Yes.
that is cut out, and I start with out in the waters, and
Ah,
if you notice, out in that waters, you have the what you call the Pelican Beach. That's a bar that
mhm.
is out in the waters. You have to take a boat to go over there. And
Okay.
that is one of the attractions in this side of the parish. Take a boat, go on at a bar, and the thing about it is that when you're at the bar, you can actually swim because the water is not that deep outside in that area.
Okay.
Yes. So it is one of those attractions. A lot of visitors do come and experience, that particular bit of attraction. Um, Outside of that, now we have all the various agricultural produce that is produced in St. Elizabeth, including the shrimp, because
Yes.
Not New Market, Middle
No.
Quarters, my
Middle
apologies.
quarters.
Middle
Yes.
Quarters is famous for our peppered shrimp. A lot of a lot of persons make their good livelihood from selling pepper shrimp in that area. Whenever visitors come through, they do stop. I big up my friend Yukal, who is one of the major um, shrimp seller in that area. Whenever you're passing through, you can tell Yukal that Alvin Hill sent you, and you get something on the house. Yeah, my very good friend.
All right.
But it is, yes, that area is known. So I'm happy that we actually included that part of it. We if you look closely on the sign, and some people can zoom it up, we define some areas even in Newmarket, because again, Newmarket is a very popular wholesale market, Sunday night, Monday, where a lot of the sellers and buyers come together, and it's a very bustling time from Sunday night leading up to Monday. Right through the night, early morning, people come to sell and to buy their goods wholesale. you know. So that's another area that was highlighted. You know, we have the various crops that we produce, as I mentioned, pineapple, you know. And then you notice that the river runs out, which is our famous Black River. Um, we have to mention Black River because it is a major source of water supply, and it is a major part of, you know, what makes St. Elizabeth what it is, you know. So it is important for us to share, um, show Black River as that source because it does provide water. And then know the, the flora and the fauna that is there, and as well as the you know, our crocodile. And if you notice on my PDC shirt, that is what is we use as a one of the representation, because a lot of persons gain their livelihood from the wetlands, whether through tourism, whether through farming for shrimp, whether through fishing, you know, and persons do some amount of agriculture, planting of crops in the wetlands area. So it is very much important for us to share that part of it.
All right, because this is a clearer picture. And before we get into the different features, are we through going through the? It looks just so lush, the
Green.
greenery and the.
And to think that even the southern side of the parish, which is, we have less water, less rainfall on that
Oh,
side. A lot of agriculture, most of the agricultural activities take place on the southern side. Um, um, but they do have a technique they call mulching, that they use the grass to cover the soil to keep it cool, and use very little water. And it has long standing practice that they are using on that side, and it has reaped a lot of success. You know, I'm not saying that they don't need water, because I trust me, if they have the water in abundance as the other side of the parish, I think St. Elizabeth would have grown tremendously, if water is available on a consistent basis over on the south side.
all right. So we have looked at the features in terms of the picture that is there, and we're looking at that. But you did mention that you're going to be having science, entry science. Tell us a little bit more about the entry science and where exactly can we look for these? Where are the locations that we're going to be seeing them, and what's the rationale behind having those?
Again, as was mentioned, um, Saint Elizabeth is the one of the larger parish in Jamaica. Some people argue the fourth, some say the third. You know, but it's one of the largest parish in the country, and it borders Manchester, it, um, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and so when you look at it, and there are a number of entry points into the parish, major entry points. You know, if you're coming from Manchester, you can enter from Spurtree or Oxford, in up in near Balaclava, and that is one of the areas that we are going to be putting up a sign. Um, um, you know, Oxford area to Balaclava. We definitely going to be putting one. Um, we're definitely going to be putting one in. Let me just scroll and find all the areas that we are going to be putting up these signs. Definitely going to be putting one in Ginger Hill. And Ginger Hill, again, as I mentioned, is the I'd say the pine capital, pineapple capital. That is not the only crop they are known for, but that is the one that makes them very popular. New market with borders, entryway from Westmoreland, um, and border, which is the border between St. Elizabeth again and West, which where the fish vendors are. Um, we're looking at Eldersley, and as I had mentioned before, Roses Valley, Oxford, that section here there. So we're coming into those are the major entry points that we are thinking about. And then now we are going to be doing some with the interior part of the parish. All of it is not yet um, confirmed, meaning that we are having again, it's through consultation. We're having these consultations with the elected representatives. This time we're going with the councillors, because that's why we use 15 divisions within the parish. So we're going with the 15 councillors for them to help us to identify the area and help us in the process in terms of making it smoother for us to get the area and them and also for them to contribute to the project, because we definitely want some amount of financial contribution to finish this particular project, which is, I think we had said 7 million, but I know it might be a little bit more based on some of the designs and so forth, because it's not going to be uniform. It's not going to be the same color. All of the features will be different. So every time you're going to do graphics and so forth, it is going to cost some amount of
Setup.
to actually get it done. So it is really a mammoth task, but it's something that I believe that once it is completed, persons would within the parish, whichever area it is placed, will see it as something monumental for them to have in their area, to highlight the farmers, to highlight the products, and to have something that is an attraction for them, for persons to take pictures, to do all of those things that visitors does, to enjoy their parish.
Indeed. St. Elizabeth has a number of attractions.
Mhm.
Are those some of the areas when you mentioned interior that you're looking at highlighting?
Yes, man, definitely.
So for those who are not from St.
St.
Beth
Elizabeth,
and,
like
and not so familiar,
YS Falls, in Dunseville alone have falls, we have YS Falls. Even though you can't climb YS Falls, there are other features, zip line and all of those things. We have some small pools. YS Falls are nice attraction. You take the ride to go over onto the property. That is, I believe, is an attraction in and of itself. There are a lot of things that you can do. Family picnic and all of those things at YS. And that is one of the area. You have the Appleton, the Appleton rum tour. Um, and you can't come to St. Elizabeth and don't go through Alan Bamboo.
Alan. Oh no.
Alan Bamboo, and it's a picturesque. You know, you have to go through the bamboo, and even though the elements do sometimes affects the bamboo, but put it this way, it is still, every time I pass through the bamboo, I see people taking photographs, ensuring that they get a piece of I call a piece of heaven, and there's always Treasure Beach. What can I say about Treasure Beach? Other than it is the unique place. When you go to Treasure Beach, you go for the experience. That's another slice of Jamaica that persons need to understand. It is a resort area, but it is not the typical resort area. You live among the community. You live among the people. You enjoy what is there, and the naturalness of it. You know, is something that a lot of persons would want to come and enjoy. And the journey there, you can always stop at any local area and enjoy, what is there. Um, Another attraction again is the safari. Every, everybody comes to come and see the crocodiles, to go up the river, again the Black River, and to see the crocodile, to experience um, I would say the naturalness of our parish, that part of the wetland which is critical. to the development of our area. So, you know, and then so those are some of the areas. Quickly, there are some areas that are off the beaten track, that need some development, need some look into. My president from Magati would not from Magati DA would not forgive me if I did not mention the caves up in his neck of the woods. And those caves again, he is trying to push those as one of those areas, one of those attractions. But it is it is one of those areas that I believe can become part of the attraction. And a thing that I was trying to push is for visitors to go and see where in the parish the artisans work. Because believe you me, most of the craft items, the wood carvings, the baskets that you see are produced in St. Elizabeth and taken to Montego Bay and Ocho Rios and Negril. A lot of them. So up in Breadnut Walk, that is the area that a lot of the wood carvers come from. That produces all a number of the carvings that are sold in Montego Bay, and that are sold in Trelawney, that are sold in Ocho Rios and Negril, and similar to the persons who does the baskets, in Slipe and in Catabo and on some of those other areas. They are the ones who produce and take to Montego Bay. So it can be a situation where a part of an attraction we can take them to the area where these people do their work, and see how they actually make the items from scratch, and talk with them and get a feel of how they come to develop their produce.
St. Elizabeth has a whole lot to offer because you still haven't reached Lover's Leap
I
and
have not. I have not touched the shrimp. I have not touched the again because I spoke about the shrimp area already.
yes,
Milk waters. That is an attraction in and of itself. Again, meeting and greeting the people. Um,
yes.
I have not touched Lovers Leap. Um, um, and my friend Jason would have beat me because again, Lovers Leap. What can I say? Saint Elizabeth has a lot to offer. And I'm glad that it is not concentrated in just one area. You can come to Black River and see where the first place that had electricity. The building is still operating as a restaurant today and a
Okay.
hotel. It is still there on the at the seaside, so you can still come and get a, a slice of history, and that is what Black River is about. Black River is a history town. I did not mention the Zhang Monument that is on the Bennett's property, and anybody who does history would know about how those slaves were left to die on the ship because the slave owners did not want to pay the insurance. And there's a monument that is set up in memory of those persons who perished, you know. So it is there to remind us of what our ancestors went through, you know. So as I said, a lot of things are there. History and entertainment is also there. It is not your typical entertainment where you have, because we do have big events, major events, and I did mention to you before we started that coming the 27th 28th of this month is what they call Black River Day, that is put on by the Chamber of Commerce. I think it's one of the largest events that um, will take place in St. Elizabeth. Hundreds of thousands of persons come out to experience Black River Day, and all it has to offer.
A whole lot to offer indeed. And so, what I'm hearing is that the rebranding is basically to highlight some of these awesome places and
Yes.
to make sure you have proper signage. So, when we come down, we don't miss the turn. We are able
Mm-hmm.
to see where exactly it is that we're to go. And just looking at this sign here that's on screen, we're seeing that,
Barcode. The
yeah, the
barcode is there to help
barcode. So
you.
take us through the features that are here.
Yes. If you notice, the barcode will tell you to help you to tell you exactly where you are and where you are to go. It will also highlight some of the restaurants, the attractions, and so basically that is what it is there for. We will, as the features, the the signs will the features will be there to assist the visitor. And visitor is used loosely. Again, anybody who's coming to St. Elizabeth who don't know the parish that well, it will assist you in knowing where is the best restaurant to eat. You know, what are some of the attractions that St. Elizabeth has to offer? How close you are to those attractions. So it is critically important, and also where you can get a room if you want to stay. You know, um, are there rooms available in Black River? Hotel rooms available, and I think it will also link. We will try to link it to some of the more reliable Airbnbs. Um, and so forth. So it, the sign will be there to help you to find your way and to go the right way in which you want to go in the parish.
Can I tell you that would be very helpful because I remember um, my brother and I came down and we were heading to Treasure Beach and missed that turn and we ended up in some community all the way up in the hills and then we were going back down.
Mhm.
It was an interesting journey. So this definitely would help because that barcode to tell you exactly where you're at because those GPS don't work unless you know where your starting point is, eh? So this would really be a good feature
You know,
for us, not just for those visiting from overseas, but also locals who want to come and get an experience of St. Bess.
mhm.
All right, let's bring in the
Is it-
community. Isaac, bigging up Mr. Hill,
Yes, Mr. Honorary.
and he's reminding us that Westmoreland was part of St. Elizabeth many
Then,
years
yes.
ago. Tell us a little about that. I missed that part in history class.
Uh, yes. If you see, when Saint Elizabeth, in fact, if you can go back to in history before Black River even became the capital of Saint Elizabeth. Lacovia was the capital of Saint Elizabeth. Um, and it is the planters who decided, at some point in time, that all major parishes, all parishes, they should have a port, and that was part of the reason why um, Black River became, was looked on, because again, Black River, they had the lumber situation in Black River at the time. It became a major shipping area, became a major transshipment area for the buying and selling of slaves. One of those areas right at Bennett restaurant in Black River was one of is a site that a lot of those auctioning of slaves took place. But we have to dig up some more history in terms of and I am not I am not old enough to sit down sometime and grasp all of the history. But I know before, yes, St. Elizabeth was very, very large, and parts of it was taken. And in fact, in recent time, Alligator Pond was part of St. Elizabeth, and it was cut off to 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 give to Manchester so that them can have a little river and so some persons back then would say Alligator Pond is St. Elizabeth, but no, it is now part of Manchester.
I
So
still had it at St. Elizabeth, so thank you for that.
it is.
Very generous. Oh, Lord,
Yeah,
Manchester now has a river.
yes.
Sir Thompson, thank you so much. Sir Thompson is joining us from over in St. Catherine. No, Clarendon. He's actually living in Clarendon. Thank you for
Yes.
tuning in. All right. All right, let's see. Romario Pusey says that he's a bit late, but do we by any chance have a projected financial estimate of how much the parish can actually generate from tourism or any other industry surrounding the development of tourism? Okay.
The what I can say on this matter, is why we are branding Saint Elizabeth as a breadbasket, because if the farmers are able, whatever it is that they produce is consumed by visitors, it makes it. I think they'll get more for in terms of from their produce, and you would have less spoilage, and they wouldn't have to sell it out that cheaply to persons who come in sometime because they produce a lot. So if we really cement this from the ground to the table concept that is being promoted over in Treasure Beach side, where whatever is produced there is given to the visitors. It is something that will help to actually boost the tourism dollar. The beauty of the southern side, Saint Elizabeth on a whole, where it comes down to tourism, is that unlike the other resort areas, most of the a greater part percentage of the money that is made from tourism is retained in Jamaica. And the St. Elizabeth workers in the tourism sector are some of the highest paid workers. And I'm talking about the managers and so forth. I'm talking about the regular workers within the tourism sector are some of the highest paid workers within the sector. I guess because they do make more money per room than some of the major resort here, because most of the resort areas are discounting their rooms. The rooms are in St. Elizabeth are in higher demand, especially in the Treasure Beach area. So the potential is there for growth in tourism, because there's and if you go into Treasure Beach, you'll see from time to time a lot of new villas and so forth is being built in that area. So that sort of development is happening, and there is also the room for more production in agriculture, and that is why if we do get the project where water is taken from Black River to the southern side, and that project is actually realized, I can tell you this, that St. Elizabeth will be growing in leaps and bounds um, um, because of that. And I'll finally say on this matter is that, similar to what has happened in Falmouth, with Black River is the town is up declared a national heritage site. So we have to build buildings, or the old buildings that are there has to be renovated within the Georgian architecture. And some persons see that as a drawback, but I see that as a positive move. But it's just that um, there needs to be some more effort from central government to push the development of Black River with all of its history and everything that is aligned to it. to develop Black River into another tourism, a different kind of tourism attraction that is unique in itself. And as I say, we have the history behind it, so it is important it's just for us to have the will to get it done.
All right. A lot going on there. Romario, trust that response. Great question. Yeah, right. He said so true. Amazing. And there is a lot going on because there was a consultation. It might have been back in 2021. And I hope that the citizens in St. Elizabeth had a chance to participate in that survey that was being done about the development of this South Coast. And some of this question that you're asking, Romario, was part of it in terms of some of the potential development and what you think would happen in terms of how it would impact employment and the revenue generation in the parish and things of that nature. So we want to make sure we look out and be a part of that kind of dialogue. And then there's also the development of the southern belt. That would be from you're talking about the Salt River, Milk River, go all the way down to, right,
Yes.
down to Treasure Beach. I think it would
Yes.
in Treasure Beach.
The intention is to bring the roadway, but I don't know if that um, type of development is really what is required. I don't. Again, we would have to have the conversation with the citizens as to what sort of development. Just as how when there was the new development order being contemplated, and the citizens in Treasure Beach requested that we maintain Treasure Beach as a low density in terms of the development. They don't want any building higher than 3 floors in that area. So they wouldn't want any skyscrapers being built in that area because they want to maintain that uniqueness. And it is something that was agreed on by the citizens, and that was part of what that went into the development order for the parish. You know,
And that is very
know,
important before you move on, Sahil. That is
yeah,
very important because that's part of what makes this space unique. And as you're doing your rebranding, you don't want to, after you've done your rebranding, then it transformed from all this lush greenery that I'm seeing here to those skyscrapers. No, there's a space for that in Kingston.
yes.
We're accustomed to that in Kingston and some areas in Montego Bay. So that's fine. We want to maintain that. And especially now with the heat that is on, we want to help to preserve the environment. So we want to, and St. Elizabeth has a lot of that in terms of the greenery, and we want to maintain those green spaces. You were making a point.
I was hastening to mention that we would have done the sustainable development plan years ago. I think we are one of the few parishes that can say that we have done a sustainable development plan, and that is one of the document that we are now using to guide us in terms of how we are going to develop the parish on a whole. I know that things change, time change, and some issues need to be looked, but it doesn't take away from us sustainably developing the parish. And I will also add that we went as far as to do another development plan for the South Coast, including Treasure Beach. So it is critically important because we see that side of the parish as important for agriculture, but also important for tourism. And we want to ensure that the two can survive, and whatever development happens, it doesn't hamper agriculture, nor does agriculture hamper the development of tourism. I think you see it as twinning both in order for us to realize the best out of the products that we offer, the goods and services that we offer in St. Elizabeth.
Indeed, because St. Elizabeth is one of those parishes that was earmarked for ecotourism and
Yes,
not right. So we want to maintain that.
yes.
I'm
And
glad
what
you
they call
mentioned the
community
development
tourism,
plan. Yes,
and what they call for community
yes,
tourism,
community
yes,
tourism
yes.
specifically. Right. I'm glad you mentioned the parish development, the sustainable plan, because was this a part of it? The rebranding, was that a part of
Um,
the plan?
it wasn't explicit, but it implies that Saint Elizabeth. It's as I said, Saint Elizabeth has always been, and anybody in Saint Elizabeth will say, yes, we are the bread basket. But I think we need now to one, as I said, cement it, concretize it, and not just to put it out there as a PR, but to actually live it. And I think part of it is really, as we understand and big up the farmers, and do the from the ground to the table concept, and eat what is produced within the country. I think what will happen is that it will reduce our demand for imports, and then the hotels and so forth can tell you, listen, me plant more lettuce, plant more tomato, different type of produce that they need, more kale, whatever it is that they need to give to the visitors. um and the sky is the limit in terms of the amount of resources that we can get um from tourism, you know.
Oh yes. Oh yes, that is so important. And as you mentioned, as it relates to living the brand of Saint Elizabeth, outside of the signs that will be erected, how will you get the younger demographic involved? Because that's a part of the
Yes.
sustainability aspect of it.
And
Gonna
that is why
embrace it. Yes.
we have to use the cool features. All of those, the barcode situation, and you make it more picturesque. I think one of the things that we do, we want to do a bus stop sign, you know, so you can sit in the bus stop and you can take your pictures because you're going to have a backdrop. It is a lot of cool things that are going to happen. That young people like to take pictures. Them take picture of everything, and everybody want to represent their area. Whenever you see them going out, if you look on Instagram, they are everything that they do is on Instagram or on Facebook, and TikTok. So it is something that, again, we have to do these things to attract young people. And I'll segue into the fact that we have to find other ways also to bring young people into community service. And we are having a challenge where that is concerned. And one of my pet peeve, which we weren't able to actually accomplish, was to um do what I would call our youth summit, where we find some ways to to get young people and find out why is it that you're not involving yourself in community thing. You is not the nothing for nothing attitude. You have to do some things for nothing. The service part of the organization sometimes is dying, because we are on our way out, and we need some young people to continue to give of themselves, and so we have to find some ways to get young people involved in
Yes.
community service. you know
Yeah.
um
So you want to make sure that they check out our Fifth Thursday segment with our youth leaders in Clarendon to
okay.
inspire them to be a part of, because a number of those young people would have shared that it was through community involvement that they were able to visit a number of countries across the world, all
Hmm.
expense paid.
Yes.
And that's what, and so it's not nothing, something for nothing. You actually benefit, because one of the other things that they said is that it helped them to become more confident, and they're able to represent themselves better, and that opens doors for them. So those are some of the things that we want to help them to understand that when you are part of the space, you might not be paid financially, but the kind of network that you're able
that
to
you
build,
can
the
build. Yes,
access that you get through what it is
yes.
that you do, because once you are really good at what you do, people can't help but
The
notice.
sky's the limits, you know.
Right. And then your recommendations come through your representation in this space. So amazing stuff.
Yes.
All right. And I didn't miss this part where you shared in terms of you're going to be getting the schools involved in terms of getting these signs there as a part of helping them to embrace the different spaces,
Hmm.
learn about the different spaces in the parish.
Yes,
All right. So that is very important.
yes.
Because not just the teenagers now, we need to make sure that from as early as the early childhood institution, they start learning and embracing these little things. So when they get to school's challenge quiz, they don't say that some of these places are in another parish
In
when
the
they're right
parish.
there in their
It
home
is.
parish. So
So it is really to help. It is really pulling some things out and put it in the faces or the citizenry, so that they begin to understand and appreciate. Because a lot of them will travel to Montego Bay to the airport, and them take 100 pictures of the sign to the airport, or the "I love you Montego Bay" sign. And so I very much understand that when they go to Negril, they do the same. So it is outside of that now that we really need to have. It might not be as gigantic and humongous in terms of costing and everything as the ones in Montego Bay and Negril, but we are going to make it as attractive and durable and as possible, so that years to come people will say that, listen me, these signs have done them time, and it became a part of what makes St. Elizabeth what it is,
right.
which is the breadbasket parish, and we don't want to leave that.
Indeed. And if I should package all of this, it would be that the whole mission is for Saint Elizabeth to embrace this local pride, to appreciate what it is that they have around them. Because right now I'm hearing about some of these places, about the boat ride over to that island there, and I want to come down and take a tour for
Yes, we
myself to experience it and pose and take a picture.
you
Amazing
can
stuff.
you
All
can you
right.
can
And Sir Thompson, you see, you never know. He's living in Clarendon, but he actually worked alongside the Holland,
sugar plantation.
near the Jerry and Neville Sugar Factory
Yes.
before it closed down. See, small
So
world.
you would know Mr. Cameron very well. Mr. Cameron worked at the sugar factory for years, and he's now the second vice president for the parish development committee. He was working at
Awesome.
Apple was working at Appleton before it closed. So
Awesome. Wonderful agricultural communities.
yes, it
All
is.
right. So we'll wrap with you sharing how it is that the citizens can be a part of this mission that you're on.
Well, one of the things that you can do, as citizens, is to become a member of your community development committee. And if there isn't one, I think the SDC people, the SDC office, you can always speak to them and say, listen, we want to be a part of a community development group, because I think out of the 39 recognized communities, we have 34 active CDCs, and it is critical for you to get involved in activities. That is one area. You can contact the parish development committee. I give you my cell number, 250-9485, 876-250-9485. If you want to become a contributor to the sign project, um, you can speak with the SDC, the SDC officer, the SDC office, and they will lead you or direct you to us. Um, and just give us your support, just by sharing, and contributing, if you can, cash, kind, whatever it is. it is needed to get these 15 signs going. As I said, we have 1.5 million already pledged, and others, I know other organizations have committed to assist us in this regard. So we really want to ensure that when we complete this project, St. Elizabeth is branded, fully branded, as the breadbasket of Jamaica.
Amazing. And don't forget the Saint Best peeps in the who
Big,
are
big,
out in the diaspora.
big up the St. Elizabeth people in the diaspora, and thank
Right.
you
So
very much for supporting the parish. I know you do, and you love your parish. And when you come back, you do support. And you can find the parish development committee office at the municipal corporation in St. Elizabeth. We are located upstairs the poor relief building that is behind the courthouse. So you can't miss us. And if you come and ask for the PDC office, they will tell you where to find us now.
all right, amazing. Thank you so much, Sir Hill, for sharing here. And just remember that the discussion will be on the YouTube page, so you can share the link. So those who are not able to join us live can get the information and learn how they can be a part of this mission to rebrand or solidify the brand of
Yes.
St. Elizabeth being the Breadbasket Parish of Jamaica.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to see those pictures when the signs go up
Mhm.
across social media we can, and the barcodes too, so that we can check in before we actually get there to know where we ought to go, and the local eateries and all those good stuff and the accommodation and such the like. Amazing stuff that's going on there. Kudos to the St. Elizabeth Parish Development Committee. Continue to do the great job that you're doing, and the partnership with the different entities in this space. Very
Yes.
important to keep it going. All
Mhm.
right. Just one thing that I want to pinpoint before we close in terms of the local governance structure. You mentioned about the involvement of the young people. A key part that I noticed in the structure is that there's supposed to be a youth representative at the community development level, the DAC level, and the parish development committee level. So I'm hoping that we can get that in place.
There's a challenge in getting persons to fill those positions. I can tell you that there is even though it is there, sometimes it is left unattended. There's anybody to fill the position. That is why we have to have that grooming where we try to build young people, because some people will say yes, but in terms of having the time and so forth, that I don't know what it is that i- is not motivating them. I remember I have been um, volunteering from in my teenage days, being a part of organizations. I was part of PTA when I never had a child. You know, so so because I saw you know myself contributing in whatever area, in whatever capacity I can. So
Right.
um, we need to find some of those persons. Some of them we have to build them. We live in a different time. We have to build some of these young people to motivate them to participate in this. So I'll take the opportunity to thank all the members of my DAC, Santa Cruz, Desmond Williams, Black River, Mr. Gillespie, Newmarket, Jacqueline Samuels Brown, um, Junction, Mr. Um, Junction is Mr. Moore, and am I leaving out Magati, Mr. Cyril Martin, and there is one area that I am. Is there an area that I am missing?
Two
No.
more.
Huh?
There are two more. I got five.
You got five, so there's
Yeah.
one more that I am. Did I say Santa Cruz? I said Santa Cruz. I said
Yes.
Black River. I said Newmarket, and I
Market.
said Magati, and I said which is the area that I don't know why I am.
You're gonna have to get that.
Junction. I said junction, didn't I?
Yes.
I did say junction. So is that 6?
All right. I hope you got all of them because we don't
I
want
I
anyone to
don't want
see.
any of them to
All
any
right.
of
So
my
just wrap it in a package and just big up all the DAC chairs and the
all the BDC
executives,
chairs, all the
all those
CDC, all
board
of my
members.
executive
Yes.
members. I will add that the 27th of this month is the annual general meeting for the Parish Development Committee. So coming August, we'll have a new executive. So to continue the process.
Amazing. Thank you again. And for those who are able to join us live, thank you for making the time to be here. And just remember to subscribe if you have not yet done so that we can get this information to more people. If you found this information useful, leave a comment on the channel as well so that we can get more people connecting, so
And,
that we can spread the word and get our young people involved. We have a
and
lot going.
the area that I did not mention, Balaclava.
Balakla. Okay.
Mr. Cameron.
All right, Sir Riley, you
Yes.
missed that. So you can check out the recording, Sir Riley. It will be there as to how you can get involved with the different location that you can make contact with. Thank you so much for joining. And you all stay safe and remember to join us. We are having discussions with the counselors over here in Clarendon. They are sharing on what they've been doing in this space, some of the challenges that they're experiencing, and how you can be a part of the change that's there. So you can take a look, even though you're in St. Bess, take a look at what's happening over in Clarendon. And maybe you want to see your counselor sharing as well. So
Yes.
you can let me know, Serenity Resource Connector on
Yes.
IG, Facebook, and you can reach me at Serenity Advisor, that's ADVISOR, at gmail.com. If you see some area that you would want to see featured in this space, and if you are a business that wants to support an initiative like this, do reach out. All right, sharing the contact as well. 8718960. So WhatsApp, email, and let me know, and we can get those awesome work that's going on in the different communities featured in the space. And if there's a business that's doing some awesome stuff that you want to see represented here to share their stuff, ask them to reach out and we make it happen. All right. Thank you again. And continue to stay tuned and stay safe. God bless.